Hello, everyone. Welcome to our very special event and session we are hosting today. FES Road Engineering Society is hosting today. Welcome to Decoding Road Safety. If you don't know me, my name is Tej Singh Rana. I am a Transportation Project Manager with Highway Studio and also the President for the FES Miami chapter. And would like to welcome you all. Welcome, everyone. Um, Before we go further, as we have been doing for this from this past year, we wanted to take this moment to take a pause and also knowing that May is a mental health awareness month. Um, I think just reiterating on the importance of how important focusing on mental health is and talking about it is. Just want to welcome everyone for a moment of pause, just to bring my awareness to my present where I am and focusing on where my energy flows and also focusing on this light within me and how I bring my energy into everything I do. So, with that thought and that energy, let's get started. Before we introduce our wonderful panelists we have here, I just wanted to take a moment to share some of the upcoming activities we have. On June 10th, we have the FDOT, the Florida Department of Transportation District 6 work program coming up. We'll be having Secretary Danny Iglesias with us and also the Director of Transportation Operations, Rudy Garcia, with us, talking about the work program FDOT has this year. So if this is something of your interest and something you do, feel free to look into it and register for it. We are also planning a Miami-Dade County work program with Director Stacy Miller and Assistant Director Social and Maria Perdomo. On in July, we don't have a fixed date yet, but it will be a lunch on too. And then we'll be having our new board installation in August, on August 7th, along with our scholarship awards dinner. So these are some of the upcoming events. So have be on a lookout for them. Let's move on to bringing our amazing panelists on board. The very first one we have is Yasmin Al Mograbi. She is a young road safety leader and a big advocate. I can personally say from my own experience and knowing her for several years now, she's a big advocate for United Nations Sustainability Development Goals. We call them SDGs. There are about 17 sustainability goals which United Nations have. And I think we'll be hearing more about those things as we move forward into our discussion. She's also a PhD candidate at FIU studying transportation engineering. A little bit about her is she's a very driven individual. And knowing her for some years now, I through her involvement with the Florida Engineering Society student chapter at FIU, I know she is very driven towards it, and also has her own Instagram channel, Yasmin Road Safety, where she promotes road safety. Throughout, she's been a youth leader for Road Safety North America. She's also youth leadership board of Young Global Youth Coalition for Road Safety, and currently also serving as an SDG champion for climate action and sustainable mobility. Um, she's also very active in as a bike delegate for Florida, and very active in organizations like FES, IT, and WTS. Um, and she has received several accolades for the great work she has done so far and she's been doing. As you can see here, she's won numerous awards and has been a recipient of several outstanding awards. So let's welcome Yasmin. The next one we have is BK Savita Gir. She is NGO representative of the Brahmakumaris to the United Nations in New York for past 10 years. And today, here in this panel, she's representing this amazing project, which I have been exposed to for last 7 or 8 years. The project is called Road Safety Through Spiritual Life Skills, and which is a project again dedicated to United Nations Decade of Action for Road Safety. Um, she represents Brahma Kumaris, which is a world spiritual university, and in about 130 countries, and It has 8,000 centers worldwide, and her work is based on understanding that real change begins with a shift in awareness, which is facilitated by a spiritual based approach called Raj Yoga. And she's been practicing this as a student, as a teacher for last 45 years. And again, a little bit about her. She's mentored youth, women, men in many countries related to this United Nations SDGs, and also working on different peace building methods in many countries. So let's welcome BK Sabita Gir. The next one we have is Jordana. Jordana Zarut. She is a very dedicated community leader and a philanthropist and an advocate for those in need, and which is very obvious from her organizations which she has founded. One is Respect the Right, another is Young Dreams Community Outreach. The Respect the Ride is a motorcycle safety initiative focusing on educating the public about road safety awareness and supporting families who have fallen riders. We will be hearing more about that project as we move forward. And she's also founder of the Young Dreams Community Outreach, where she spends a lot of her time uplifting the undeserved communities by providing them essential resources and supporting them through their hardships. So, and also she's also director of the community outreach for Women Chamber of Commerce, and her passion for spreading love and making a difference um, is what drives her mission to create a safer and a more compassionate world. And I've seen this in the last couple of years. I've known her, I've seen that passion in her, and you will hear that passion in a little bit as well. So let's welcome Jordana as well. And last but not the least, Dr. Pain Sun Ling. He is, I've known him for many, many years from 2008. As a student, when I was a student, I was doing my master's. I worked with him. I worked under him actually. And his current roles are he is the director of Florida LTAB, which is the local technical assistant program. For that center, and also he is the lead for the safety program at University of South Florida Center for Urban Transportation Research, where I had the fortune of working in my initial days when I was a student as well. So I very well understand the value and the importance of the great work this organization does. Qatar does. We call it Qatar. And Dr. Lin, the great work he has been doing for several years, for almost 30 years now. He's worked on hundreds of safety-driven projects and grants from FDOT and from national agencies, and he has received multiple awards, National Road Safety Awards, for the great work he's done in reducing crashes and enhancing road transportation systems. Also through the Florida LTAP, which I was mentioning, there are a lot of trainings, not just for workforce, but also for road safety, which are conducted through them. I myself have taken advantage of a lot of the trainings which LTAP does. One of them is a really good training called Road Champion Program. I'm sure he will be talking about it as we move forward. And then also in April 2025, Dr. Lin was honored with the USF prestigious Outstanding Research Achievement Award. So big welcome to our four panelists. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now and move on to seeing the lovely faces we have here, just so that we can spotlight all our presenters here for everybody. And to start with this discussion or this panel, I'm going to ask this first question to everybody, knowing that you all have this passion and all are driven towards road safety in your own ways, from coming from your own understandings and backgrounds. I would like to know what are different key road safety initiatives you have been working on, if you can share with all the people attendees here on what are some of the things which you are working on, and on what different aspects of road safety do they focus on. So we're going to start with Yasmin. Yasmin, you want to take a lead on that?
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm truly honored to be a part of this meaningful discussion. So, as a passionate young road safety advocate, I work every day alongside other inspiring young leaders around the world to reshape the future of mobility. As PhD candidate, I love analyzing numbers and statistics, but when it comes to road crashes, I'm deeply disturbed by the fact that 1,000 young people lose their lives on the world roads every day. Road crashes have been the biggest killer of young people. This is not just a number, it's a crisis. And what's even more alarming is that we know how to prevent this tragedy, yet they are often treated as an unfortunate cost of mobility. And this inaction costs human lives. That's why my peer and I refuse to accept this as normal. We are done with the transport system that harm instead of heal. We are done with roads that shatter dreams instead of connecting people, communities, and opportunity. So together, we created the Global Youth Statement for Road Safety. It's a clear and urgent action plan for decision makers to implement the youth vision for road safety. The Global Youth Statement for Road Safety is not just a document, it's a wake-up call and a global demand for investment, accountability, and meaningful youth participation. It's also outlined key priority for safer, more inclusive, and sustainable mobility. We launched this statement at the Third World Youth Assembly for Road Safety in Morocco this February. And I'm thrilled to share that during the Ministerial Conference on Road Safety, world leaders from several countries, including Italy, Morocco, Jordan, endorsed the statement. And this brings us so much hope. So I want to also invite FTOT to commit to this vision and be part of the movement for a safer and more equitable future for all young people, because we have always been told that young people are the future. We are also the present. Young people are excluded from policy planning. This policy failed us. So we are the ones who experience these challenges firsthand, so we can offer insight into how they can be effectively addressed. And that's why we are taking action. I'm proud to share that we currently have over 58 youth-led action in low and middle income countries. This local action began from 2021. These are evidence-based, youth-designed projects focused on road safety and sustainable mobility. And each initiative is rooted in the community and aligned with the global plan for the second decade of action for road safety 2021 to 2030. And I'm truly honored to serve as a judge for some of this road safety project in the final round of the local action this year. So I'm so excited to be inspired by the creative, innovative solution these young leaders are proposing and see how they link their project to the UN Sustainable Development Goals, including climate action, gender equality, and education.
Thank you, Yasmin. Spoken like a true youth. Wonderful. Moving on, Sister Savita, you want to share about what initiatives are you working on and your organization you represent?
Hello, everyone. It is really my honor to be part of this conversation with such esteemed speakers and
Oh, I think we lost Sister Savita. Maybe we could move on to Jordana. Sorry. Would you like to share what great work are you working, do things that you're doing?
Of course. I'm so grateful to be here. Respect the Ride is a program that was designed in 2021 after a driver failed to yield at a stop sign. And my husband was a motorcyclist that was crossing that intersection, and unfortunately, he did not make it. So through the passion of my grief, the program was designed to teach all youth and all drivers how to share the road safely with motorcyclists, how to prevent vehicle motorcycle accidents, and how to save lives. So what our goal is, we go to all types of schools from elementary to high school, and we teach children before they get out on the road how to see motorcycles, how to prevent accidents, how to tell their parents, check your blind spots, leave safe space between cars and motorcycles, avoid being distracted in the vehicle or in their bus, wherever they are. And at the same time, we teach them how to be a safe motorcycle driver. So we also teach the aspect, if they are driving a motorcycle, what safety gear they need to wear to prevent getting hurt, and so forth. Our main goal is to make this program, which is a 1-hour course, mandatory for all driver's education classes in schools. And our future goal is to make this part of a required course before you get your driver's license. So just like you take a drug and alcohol test, we would like all drivers before they have their license to take this road safety course.
That's amazing, Jordana. This is so much needed, and I think so much at the grassroots level, where the work is need to be done. So loved hearing that from the initiative you're working on. Coming back to Sister Savita, sorry we lost you for a moment there. Would you like to continue sharing about your project?
Yes, sorry about that. I think it's a bit windy here in New York, and it's rainy, so I don't know if the internet went, little fluctuating. But anyway, I'm back, and we at the Brahma Kumaris have started this initiative, spiritual life skills and road safety and spiritual life skills, because as we know, I'm not going to repeat data that we all are familiar with. There are so many road crashes and people are dying on the roads for various reasons all across the world. And many times it's either drinking and driving or some form of distraction or mental cases. It could be so many issues. It could very well be a simple thing, well, not simple, but carelessness also on both sides, whether it's on the driver or side or it's on the passengers or the pedestrians or the cyclists. So to help each other, to help the world, to help all humans become aware of the dangers, we've created this initiative, Road Safety and Spiritual Life Skills, because if we are not present, then things will happen that we regret after, even in day-to-day life, without even using the road. Even if we are talking and we get all angry and upset, we can say things that we regret. So same thing when we're a driver or a pedestrian or a road user. If we're not more present and more aware, then we can make wrong decisions. And so spiritual life skills are so important. And so we've tried to raise awareness and to educate people that any action we are doing starts from an attitude that starts from the awareness. Why am I stepping out of my home to go on the road and drive a car or ride a bicycle or even to walk? What's going on in here? And depending upon that, so I will use the road. And so we try to educate people about that. And on a personal level, if I'm a passenger, I try not to distract the driver. And if I'm a driver, which I don't drive much nowadays, but I try to hold my space, my inner space more present, even though we are trained or we are taught these things before we get the license. But we need to practice it and not just do it just to get the driver's license. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Savita. That was wonderful. I think bringing back the attention to the self. I think in road safety, as we engineers, we definitely understand we can always control, we can do so much about engineering, about road design, about enforcement and everything. But a big parameter is always the individual behavior, which is definitely beyond us. And it's good to hear that the project you are working on and Brahmakumaris is doing is focusing on the individual behavior and the awareness of the individual. So good to hear that. Coming to Dr. Lin, the engineer and the professional engineer on our panel, who will share a lot about the engineering initiatives which he is working on. Dr. Lin.
Thank you for the invitation and good morning, everyone. I would like to take this opportunity to focus on two parts. So first part, since we are at the Carter USF, we conduct a lot of research and my particular patients on safety. especially for pedestrian, bicyclists, and motorcyclists. So here I mentioned a couple recent project or some project I'm working on right now, and towards especially on the pedestrian and bicycle safety. And so the first one is intersection safety. And intersection is very important for all road users. It's so wonderful for pedestrians. So we try to figure out what a good countermeasure and can really minimize the exposure or conflict between vehicle and pedestrians. So this is a very important one. Second project I'm working on is focused on pedestrian detection. This focus on technologies, and that also can apply to motorcyclists. So how can we detect pedestrian and bicyclists and motorcycle and be able to warn the surrounding drivers? And so this is a very important part, and the technology enable us to do that. So this is really important part to focus on that. And the third one project I'm working on is when we talk about traffic signal progression, we all like to have a green light on our arterial. However, it's important to think about how can you use traffic signal progression to really manage your speed. Because as a pedestrian bicyclist, if you hit by a car, the higher speed you got hit, the worse situation will be. So if we can use a signal progression, so when you drive proper speed, you will be able to make progression. So how can you use that to discourage speeding? So that's one I'm focused on. The next one I want to mention is the nighttime safety, especially for all the vulnerable road users, because the nighttime safety, if you look in the crash data, there's a lot overrepresented at the nighttime. And for example, pedestrian fatalities. Imagine there are about almost 75% of pedestrian fatality occur on the second half of the day. And so that's why a lot of time you need to think about, if we focus on our effort, if we only focus on 25% and not focus on 75%, it's very hard to see the number change. And so it not only for pedestrian bicyclists, it's also more for motorcyclists, also for all the road users, vehicles. So that's very important. And the last one I want to quickly mention here, since right now, Florida will pass the law allow the school zone speed camera. And so currently I'm also working on evaluation on the school zone speed camera. And so later on I may have results to share with you. And then I shift to the second part is on the Florida LTAP. Florida LTAP Center, we provide a lot of trainings. And I'm very fortunate to have this opportunity to provide different training. And especially 60% of our training or 65 are safety related. And it's so important. Anybody, you probably know someone involved with some car crash in the past. And so how can we really minimize that? That's very, very important. So under Florida LT umbrella, and we have 4 different types of training based on that big umbrella. So first one is Florida LT training courses. And this is funded by Federal Highway and also Florida Department of Transportation. And thank you for all their full support. And so for this training, we have done different type of training. We did a needs assessment to see what's the most important for people to learn and to have a skill and to have knowledge. So we, based on needs assessment, we prioritize our training every year. And so last year, we have done 64 webinars and 14 in-person training. And we have been reached 27,000 people attendees. So we got almost like 260 people attend on each webinar on average, and 46 on in-person training. And we reach about 27,000 content hours. So that's a really a big accomplishment, and really happy to see many people interested to learn and apply what they learn to the real world. And the second one I want to focus is we also got a grant project from FDOT on safety training workshop. And this training focus towards FDOT employee, also to local agency and consultants. And so this one focus on really very important topic, also related to safety, and maybe I just mention a couple, like a roadside safety barrier design, and bicycle facility design, signal light intersection guidebook workshop, and successful traffic signal management, access management, speed management, and also the payment friction. So this is within this topic area. And the third one under this product umbrella is we also, fortunately, we also receive a further highway work zone safety grant. And work zone safety is also a very important area. And so this grant dedicated to work zone safety covered all the users, workers, and also all the driver, pedestrian, and law enforcement officers. And so this is ongoing. And the last one I just want to mention, we also have a grant fund for the Department of Transportation focus on safe route to school. And so we also take this opportunity, children, students, they are our future, and want to make sure they learn as much as they can. We provide a facility, safe facility for them, and they have started to learn a good behavior and also really good for their health. And so this is also a very area we focus on safe route to school. And so I just cover this for my initiative here. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lin. That was a lot of good information, and I think when we talk more about the practical tools, I think I'll be sharing the screen just to show the LTAB website and everything. But a lot of good, great initiatives, as well as I think covering a lot from the point of the education, because that is so important on how we are able to educate the generations, not just the younger generations, with Yasmin is representing here, but also the users who have been using it for 30 years, 40 years, how there's so much to learn every day. So thank you for sharing a lot about that education aspect. Moving on, I was just thinking about the theme this year for UN Road Safety Week, which is focusing more on walking and cycling. I think the theme this year is Rethink Mobility, Make Walking and Cycling Safe. So on those lines, I wanted to check with all four of you, what are some of the things you would recommend or suggest, on how as what we are representing here, how can we prioritize walking and cycling as a safe and healthy transportation option? What are your recommendations on that? In short, if you can give some. Maybe we can start with Dr. Lin this time.
Yes. So I think the very important one, because the pedestrian bicyclists, safety are so important, and how can we encourage people to walk and bike? And also usually that's also the first mile, the last mile. And so first, I think we need to build a safe and also connected and multi-model infrastructure. Because if we don't have that infrastructure, and even people like to walk and bike, it's just very possible or safety concern. And so we really need to have, to have the safe and connected, also multi-model. And because the connection is very important. And second one, we should have the policy, and also we should plan, have policy to support that. And we should also have the funding to support all the action, the plan to do that, because that's important. Because without that, then we have really good idea, but we really cannot make that to work. And the third one, I think is adopt. I think many state, county, cities already start to adopt the Taki Zero. For now, we got Taki Zero, we got Region Zero, or similar goal. And also, we should have action plan. How to do that? You have a plan, you got everything, but how to go there? And so should have funding to support that, and based on your plan, and then county, city, to state, we all can do that. And the next one is to promote health, and this we can do through the partnership with the public health agencies, because how can we relate it to walking and biking the health to the chronic disease prevention? Because you are not only provide your transportation, you really provide your health. Because when you do that, you'll be much healthier, and you can do much more things. So that's very important. And the next one is we really need to encourage more shift, because we have been vehicle central design role in the past. We has been changing that in the past 5-10 years. So that's really great to see. However, majority of our roadway facilities still designed in the past based on vehicle central, very wide lanes, very high speed. So it's very hard for driver to maneuver, even harder for pedestrian to cross street, and wider street to cross, high speed to handle with. So that's the challenge that we have. So how can we start to have this safety culture change? How can we start to provide the infrastructure, the facility to encourage people to shift from not just driving, but to walking and biking and transit and multi-modal? And that's one is we need to continue to measure and evaluate when we implement a lot of strategy and treatment, and we want to know which one work very well, which one is not. And so we can invest our precious resources to those work very well and to implement more and expand that. And so in this way, then we really can encourage and really can see more people walking and biking. And that's very important. And the whole society will be safer. And also people have really good experience on walking and biking. Thank you.
I like that, Dr. Lin. I think what I'm taking from what you're saying is getting involved, right? As passionate leaders in this arena, and of course, being road users, which we all are, we need to make our voice heard, and we need to get involved in that aspect of policy making. So we can't just sit back and think that everything will happen by itself, right? So it's a high level, very good suggestion on getting involved. So moving on to
Everybody
Jordana.
can contribute. Everybody can
Exactly.
contribute, at least for yourself.
Exactly. It's for us and for everybody. So Jordana, what do you think? What do you suggest from the point of walking and biking?
I had some things in mind, like protecting the bike lanes. So you know how they have the plastic lane poles in the express lanes? Maybe that's something that should be considered for the bike lanes as well. Sidewalks. There's a lot of neighborhoods that still do not have sidewalks, at least here in Miami. So it forces the people to kind of be in danger. So we need to either have wider sidewalks, and some of the neighborhoods that don't have sidewalks, we need to get that going. Also promote reflective gear for walkers that are walking at night, and for motorcyclists and for bicyclists. We need to promote to be seen, for them to be seen. Maybe have some better lighting too. In certain neighborhoods, there is no lighting. Right. So it's really hard for the bicyclist or the walker to be visible to a driver. And I also even thought about like the infrastructure. In some areas, there's a lot of potholes, at least here in Miami. So I think that's something that maybe needs to be looked into as well.
Mm-hmm. You're right. Going to the street level, right? The root level on what issues you see on the street. So those are very good suggestions. And I know a lot of our engineering friends here on this call would agree with all those suggestions that you are saying, the protected bike lanes and all those things are there, but how much are we implementing them in our infrastructure? That's the important question here. Moving on to Sister Savita. I know you are in New York, so you are in a very bike friendly or a pedestrian friendly place.
I was just thinking, I said, here I am in New York, so the city bikes are so available, so easily available, and much more than in the past. And so it's encouraging people to bike, to cycle, and you know what the traffic is like in New York City. If any one of you is here, there isn't a time, very, very rarely. It's a breeze to drive, very rarely. So it's pushing you to walk if you have to go short distances. I myself walk a lot. I walk from Penn Station to the UN every day, sometimes from Grand Central. So it's like 40 minutes walk one way. So, and I don't mind because it's also an exercise. It's also a time when I can just either listen to nothing and just enjoy, even if it's all concrete, but just to be free from thinking of anything. So it's helpful in so many ways. One on a spiritual level, and a mental level, one on the physical level. However, outside of New York, it's very similar to what Jordana was just saying. You know, the bike lanes, there are not too many bike lanes. I live in Long Island. I don't think I ever saw a bike lane in Long Island. Some of the sidewalks are really good. Some upscale areas, the sidewalks are pretty well taken care of. Even in the city also, they could do a little bit more better job with some of the side. They're working very hard in keeping it going, but yes, there's a lot of encouragement in New York City for cyclists and for walking. That is for sure, and maybe it's keeping everybody fit and slim. I think, but apart from that, on the external level, even though those things are in place, we as cyclists or pedestrians still need to be mindful, especially the cyclists. They do not adhere to the traffic lights. I would say 50% do, 50% don't. They think because they have a bike lane, they can just go straight through the red light. So as a pedestrian, you have to be very careful because you could be knocked over. So cyclists just need to be mindful that traffic lights are for them too, and to prevent, unnecessary crashes or accidents. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sister Savita. Yasmin?
So when we talk about rethinking mobility, we need to start by rethinking who our streets are designed for, right? Because currently our streets are built for cars and not for people. So as Dr. Lee and Jordana and Sister Savita mentioned, that vulnerable road users like pedestrian and cyclists are not being protected the way they should be. So if there are no bicycle lanes, if there are no safe places to walk, if you don't wear your helmet, or if there are no appropriate speed limit, then it can be very risky. So these things go hand in hand. The safety component need to go together with the push for more active mobility. So we need to make a shift in transportation that include data-driven policy, create action plan, and develop a transportation strategy that puts safety first, and to prioritize investment, and again investment in active mobility infrastructure and investment in youth, because that's mean investing in road safety solutions that address root issues at the community level. And also when we talk about rethinking mobility and promoting sustainable transportation, we need to make sure it's accessible for everyone, right? Especially for women, disabled people, young people, elderly. So mobility isn't just about moving people now. It's about celebrating our cities as living spaces where people, streets, building, and memory come together. And currently, with social media, we have the power to create and share stories that inspire conversation, inspire action, and encourage others to walk and cycle. And that's exactly what we are doing now with the Street for Us campaign. We launched it during the UN Road Safety Week. It's a campaign where young people are reimagining their street to make walking and cycling safer. It's a global youth movement that includes creativity, data collection, and even the use of AI tool like ChatGPT. We are all now using ChatGPT. So what if we use ChatGPT to reimagine our streets? And how amazing is that we can use technology to prioritize walking and cycling? Because right now innovation is too focused on car, like autonomous vehicle, electrical vehicle. So we need also to shift that focus to active mobility.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful, Yasmin. That brings me to the next question I was thinking about, and I think all of you in some way or the other have shared some of it, but if I may present it this way, if you would like to suggest from your own experience, in your own perspective and your own projects, if you could just suggest one or two practical tools for me as a road user, irrespective I'm an engineer or not, irrespective I'm whatever work I do, doesn't matter, I'm a road user, right? So what practical tool, one or two practical tools you would suggest us to use in our day-to-day travel, in our when we are on the road? What can we do to be more safe? That is what I would like to ask you. One or two such practical tools. Who would like to go first? I think we can go with Yasmin first this time.
So I have two incredible and fruitful practical tools that I would suggest for road safety. First, like road safety is a shared mobility. So we all need to obey traffic law, right? If we don't obey traffic law, this can lead to road crashes and tragedies, and also have the knowledge and the basic of what is road safety, because a lot of people think that road safety is just about put the seatbelt, don't text and drive, and they don't know that as engineer, as a student, as even like doctors, whatever your job, you have a big role in road safety, because at the end, we are all using the road as pedestrian, as a driver, as public transport rider, as riding our bike. So I would like to suggest the Yours Academy. It's an online learning platform powered by Yours Youth for Road Safety, and it includes models developed based on extensive research and what people want to learn about road safety and safe mobility. So this includes topics like safe system approach, connection between road safety and sustainable development goals. And I want also to take advantage, and if there are any decision makers here, and if you are working with young people or hoping to include them meaningfully in your project, so I would suggest the Policymaker Toolkit for meaningful youth participation and road safety and sustainable mobility is really a perfect tool for you.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for offering that. Jordana?
I think we need to educate a lot of our communities and the youth. So that's what I guess we targeting. But I would like to see maybe alerts on our GPS that tell us like there's a bike lane. You know, like if we can get alerts now, how it says there's an object on the road or there's a police nearby. You think we can get like bike lane alerts and things like that? That would be nice to see on the apps that we're using. And maybe more road sharing signage and reminders on the road too.
Okay. I did miss sharing this you wanted to share about, right? Is there anything from here you want to touch from your project, Jordana?
Oh, this is a little overview of our program, some of the reasons of our program, us in the classroom teaching the youth. We do love going from elementary. Now we started going to elementary. We actually have created an activity where we take, after we teach the elementary students about leaving safe space, taking that 1 minute to stop at the stop sign and looking both ways. And we teach them as a passenger to make sure that their parents are doing this. We have created an activity where we take them outside, and after we teach them these specific tips, they will recreate it. They will ride a little motorcycle and a car, and we will have a road, and they will stop at the stop sign. They will look both ways, and then they will turn. They will leave safe space. So we teach them how to do this, and then we actually go and do a hands-on activity to instill this in them. And then we have
That's
a pledge.
amazing.
Yeah, we have
Oh,
a pledge.
Good.
On the bottom is a QR code, and we have everybody, when we go to places, take the pledge to be a safe driver and watch out for motorcyclists.
This is wonderful. This is wonderful. I think what I'm taking from you is taking a pause, right? Taking that pause. So whenever you're at the stop sign. So
Yes.
yes, wonderful.
1 minute, because that 1 second can actually, it can save a life.
Definitely. Moving to Sister Savita.
Yes, I really like what both of you shared, Jordana and Yasmin. And yes, to take that pause at the traffic light, but also, even if you're not in at the traffic light, in traffic, rather than losing your patience. Many years ago, you would hardly hear cars honking in New York City. busy as it is, noisy as it is, it's not honking that you would hear making noise. But recently, yes, and somehow like the sound of the honking, you can hear the impatience and the anger, in the honking even. And all that it is a parent or a guardian is crossing the road with a child, and so it's taking a little time. And 10 cars down, they can't see that. A pedestrian is seeing it, and just be patient. And for that, practice pausing. The other thing I would suggest is before you leave home or leave the place that you're at to go onto the road, just remind yourself where you're going. I'm going on the road, expect anything, be in the moment, kind of groom yourself, prepare yourself like that. And I see, thank you, Tej, for bringing up the process. My awareness determines my attitude. My attitude helps me see what my vision is. And that would then determine the kind of action I would take. And that's the world we create. And so just be mindful that a vehicle or a cycle is not a vehicle or a cycle. Even this body I'm walking, I'm using this road I'm walking, it's not just that. It can hurt, it can damage, it can kill. There is so much that can happen, and we are responsible. I'm in charge of it. Let me do the best I can. Let me practice the qualities and the virtues that are innate in the soul. Let me do that. Otherwise, it's very easy. In 1 second, we know it can happen. So yes, the traffic control of the mind at the traffic light or even in traffic. And the other one, stay connected. Stay connected with your goodness. Stay connected with your peace, not connected with the phone. We were joking one day that we got so attached to the GPS on our phone or in the car, it's there. And some years ago, a few years ago, we had to depend on MapQuest, and we had to print out those directions. We had to get a co-pilot to help you go through the directions and so on. Imagine if we have to go back there, it's going to be chaotic. So yes, it's good that we have these gadgets, but not to focus too much on them or get distracted. Know your know your the steps that you have to take, the turns and all the whole journey before you start your journey. So mentally you are prepared, and we kind of know where we're going, so we don't get that much distracted. I think the distraction is one of the biggest challenge. And for that, stay connected. Oh yes, and this last one, keep safe distance. Safe distance in your thoughts and safe distance between vehicles. And it's all to do with my inner awareness. Thank you.
Can you hear me, Dr. Lin?
Yes,
Now
I
we
can
can
hear
hear.
you.
Oh, sorry, I lost somehow. Dr. Lin, you want to share?
Uh, uh, so this is actually this is what our TAP Center website. There's a calendar and a lot of training is available there, especially the recorded training. So here's a training calendar, so you can see those training. And also we got a recording webinar. So we have 250 recorded webinars, and that's really something, especially anyone you are interested in any topic, and you can go in there to find something. Some of them you within 2 years, I think you still can review that to get a PDH. So there's a lot of good resources over there. So this is one of the really a good tool and really benefit everyone. So I want to share, not share. So maybe you can show a couple the link I provided earlier.
Yes, Dr.
Yes. So yeah, you can leave the website here. Yeah, so there are a couple four resources tool I want to share with you, and very briefly. So first one is this further highway, the proven safety countermeasure. So here, as you can see, they got the speed management, they got pedestrian, bicyclists, and when you move down, then they got the roadway departure. You're going down a little bit, there's a roadway departure, and then move down, there's intersection, also the crossing, the new technology, cross-cutting. And so each one of them, they have different tools. They got much more detailed information. And so that's why very important, Photo Highway have done so many different research, and they summarize all this individual over there. So when you have different problem, you can go there, find a countermeasure, and to see how they can be implemented, what's the solution, what's the effectiveness. So that's very important one. And so you don't need to reinvent the wheel. So that's very important, especially for engineer, manager, decision makers. And the second one is countermeasure that work. So that's from National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. And yeah, so this is another one, the federal agency, and they provide information to share that with you. So that's another link tool you can use. And the third one I want to mention is a CMF clearinghouse. So CMF is crash modification factor. So a lot of time we try a lot of different countermeasures, and we try to say how effective is this. And a lot of time we need to conduct research, we need to do data collection or studies. The federal highway, there's so many information, just have the crash modification. For example, if this crash modification factor is 0.7, that means you can reduce from 1 to 0.7, that means you can reduce 30% of crash reduction. So that's a very good resource. The last one, the one just showing on the screen here, is hold out traffic safety dashboard, traffic signal analytics. So this is very important. We are in Florida, and this is a tour, and actually you can see different kind of crashes, how serious that is, when does that happen, throughout the season, everything. Yeah, so that's also the tool I really want to share with you. And I know FDOT right now is also working on some dashboard, and really good way to show you, and also solution. And FDOT is working on that. Yeah, so that's the one for the tours and links.
Thank you, Dr. Lin. That was very informative. Just to end, I wanted to see if you, from all that we have heard and all your experiences, if you have to describe safety in one word or one sentence, what would you say?
Yeah,
what is safety for you?
One word.
Yes.
Crash prevention.
Crash prevention is okay. Safety is crash prevention. Okay. Yes. Jordana.
My word was prevention. As soon as we keep working on what we're doing, we can prevent. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Sister Savita, what is it for you?
Safety is not a gadget, but a state of mind.
Wonderful, wonderful. And Yasmin, what is this? What is safety for you?
So I will say a sentence inspired by my roommate, because I always enjoy to play puzzle with them, and I know it takes time and teamwork to complete it. So my sentence is, road safety is like a puzzle. Every piece matters, and it takes commitment and meaningful collaboration to achieve it.
Wonderful. A lot of words there, but it all made sense.
It's still one sentence.
No, it is a sentence. You're good. You're good. That was nice. So wonderful hearing from all of you, and wonderful perspectives from all you passionate leaders coming from different perspectives. And I like how we were able to bring so many different perspectives in there from all of you passionate leaders here, from engineering, education, from grassroots level work some of you are doing, and also from the point of the youth, and what is going on in what is the minds of the youth in terms of that. So I think it's very well covered a lot of the aspects which we focus on. And the way I was thinking we could end this session is I wanted to really invite Sister Savita, if she could kind of lead us into, I don't know if I want to call it a reflection. Yes, let's use the word reflection. That she could take us into an experience, into a reflection from all that we have talked about, and focusing more on that understanding and on that awareness. So let me welcome Sister Savita, if you can take us into that experience and that awareness which you talked about.
Yes, thank you. So I'm going to share with you some words that I would suggest you try to listen. As you listen, go into the experience of them, actually do it. Like, we're going to take a couple of deep breaths, so you do that also. And let us try to, we all talked about being in the moment, take a pause. So this is something that you could do as you're waiting for the light to change from red to green. So keeping both feet on the ground, your hands on your lap. You can close your eyes or you can keep them open. Let's take a deep breath in and then release. At this time, when you take a deep breath in, take in that deep breath and hold to the count of 3. Take a deep breath in. 1, 2, 3, and then release. And as you breathe in this time, think peace. And as you breathe out, let all the tension in your muscles melt away. And as you watch your breath in and out, your body relaxes, the mind becomes more present, and you are more aware. Now, I invite you to turn inward and to connect with that sense of peace and calm that's within you. That light. And as you hold yourself in the awareness of that inner light, allow that calm to penetrate and spread throughout your body. Make sure you keep breathing nice and deep. And in this state of calm and control, imagine if you're going to step out to go onto the road. Or maybe you're in traffic, maybe you're at the light, and it changes to green, and you're going to put your foot on that pedal to accelerate. But you will do so calmly, peacefully, and very much aware. Patient, but very observant. And in this state of calm, allow this energy, this light, to spread all around you. as you gently remind yourself, as a road user, you have a responsibility, not only for yourself, but for everyone else on the road. Better to be safe than sorry. Prevention is better than cure. And now let's take a deep breath in again and release, because now we're going to go back out into the world. And I'm going to be safe, and we're going to keep others safe. Thank you very much, and wish you safety.
Thank you, Sister Savita, and thank you to our wonderful, wonderful panelists for sharing your amazing experiences, your amazing work you all have been doing. And also a lot of thanks to all our attendees for being here, listening to this very unique panel. And of course, as Sister Savita said, we'll end it with this awareness and this practice of safety within and sharing that with the world around us. Okay, so thank you, everyone. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Take care, everyone.